Vladimir Putin. No doubt the name has dominated headlines in recent months, thanks to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Figuring out the net worth of the sovereign head of the Russian state has proven to be a wild goose chase. But how much is the leader of Russia worth? How much of the rumors surrounding his assets are true? Welcome back, guys. In today's video, we're going to take a deeper look inside the wealth of Vladimir Putin. Putin's official financial disclosure released annually by the Kremlin lists his 2020 income at about $140,000. The only assets he claims include ownership of 3 cars, a trailer, an 800 square foot apartment with a 200 square foot garage, plus a 1,600 square foot long apartment with 2 parking spaces. What a simple, modest, and frugal head of state he is, right? Sorry to burst your bubble, but you might want to check that again. Vladimir Putin has been spotted several times in public sporting a Felipe petit perpetual calendar wristwatch that costs nothing less than $60,000. Isn't that quite steep for when you're living on $140,000 per annum? He also owns a German luxury watch that cost $500,000. Vladimir Putin reportedly has access to 20 different palaces and villas, 9 of which were built in his tenure as president. But the most controversial of all is the so-called secret palace. This grand luxury was reportedly built for Putin using illegal state funds. This mansion is built overlooking the coast of the Black Sea and was originally conceived as just a modest holiday house with a nice swimming pool. You know, the picket fence kind of stuff. But what do you know? It boasts a magnificent column facade that should not take very long before you notice the parallels between Putin's secret palace and the country palace of the Russian Tsars in the 18th century. So much for modesty, don't you think? The massive wrought iron gates into the courtyard are topped up with a golden imperial eagle. Outside are formal gardens, a private theater, a landing pad with bays for 3 helicopters, and accommodation for security guards. The interior design is, in fact, otherworldly. The secret palace boasts of grandiose bedrooms, opulent wall art that resembles an ancient Italian cathedral, gigantic spider chandeliers, and so many other amenities that ooze comfort, style, and luxury. The sofa in this palace is worth $500,000, and the bar table, $54,000. Even the washrooms are minted. Price tag for the toilet brush? $850,000. Paper rolls? Just $1,200. This secret palace has a not-so-secret casino and a nightclub. How many people would it take to run this place, you ask? 40 employees. The cost of maintenance of Putin's secret palace is a whopping sum of $2 million. Then how much is the villa worth? A few $100 million at most. Wrong. The secret palace is worth approximately $1 billion. Aside from the ultra-plus villas and palaces, Putin also has a collection of 4 yachts, each costing thousands of dollars to maintain. One of his yachts, Razia, was upgraded in 2005 and reportedly cost $1.2 million to do this. Another yacht Vladimir Putin owns, Graceful, reportedly accommodates 14 people and it has 6 bedrooms. The former owner of Chelsea Football Club, Roman Abramovich, one of Russia's wealthiest men, also gifted Vladimir Putin a 57-meter luxury yacht worth about $35 million as a gift. This yacht was called Olympia, and there are reports of Putin running it using the resources of the state. Just as Vladimir Putin loves luxury items of life, he also spends a lot of money to make sure he looks good. It has been rumored that Putin favors Valentino as one of his preferred suit makers. This was further confirmed by a Russian government-owned newspaper, Russia Beyond the Headlines, which confirmed that Putin also prefers Kiton and Brion as brands for his suits. The suits are made from start to finish by a tailor and take dozens of hours to complete. Each of these suits has a starting price tag of $5,500. For the past 10 years, it has been a stylist in Putin's payroll that has been dressing him. The stylist makes sure his dashing suits and clothes are without labels, so they do not catch the eye of journalists and the rest of the paparazzi. So, if the official Kremlin records have it that Putin only earns $140,000 every year, but he owns expensive wristwatches, villas, palaces, jets, and designer clothes, how much is Putin really worth? In 2007, former Russian government advisor Stanislav Belkovsky claimed that Putin had a $40 billion fortune stashed away in Switzerland and Liechtenstein, making him the 4th wealthiest person at the time. Belkovsky estimated the fortune of Vladimir Putin to be worth around $70 billion. But we have wilder guesses. Bill Browder, an American financier that runs the Hermitage Capital Management, the largest investment portfolio in Russia at one point, calculated in 2017 that Putin could be worth around $200 billion. The figure sounds far-fetched, but Broder goes on to give a reasonable explanation. But it would take us back to 2022, when Khodorkovsky was Russia's richest man. In 2002, Forbes ran a cover story profiling a rising Russian oligarch named Mikhail Khodorkovsky. At the time, his company, Yukos, accounted for 17% of all oil production in Russia. This imbued significant power on him, and he was believed to have a significant influence in the Kremlin. He was worth $3.7 billion and was Russia's richest man. But by October 2003, he was in jail, convicted of fraud and tax evasion, which he denied. There was little doubt that Putin was behind his arrest, the freezing of his fortune, and the eventual breakup of his company. Since it was not just tax and fraud, how did Russia's richest men end up behind bars? It is reported that Khodorkovsky challenged Vladimir Putin. Khodorkovsky's fate was a powerful lesson to the other Russian oligarchs. So the spooked oligarchs wondered to themselves, how do we stay in Putin's good books? Abramovich's gift makes sense now, right? Bill Broder said Putin forced the oligarchs to give him 50% of their wealth, including profits and, of course, assets, or he would eventually take it all and throw them in prison. If that is true, then based on the math, Broder proposed the summation of the net worths of all the Russian oligarchs and divided it by 2. That would give roughly $200 billion. Another important point to consider if you're wondering how much Putin really has is this. Putin helps his close friends and family become rich by awarding them government contracts or ownership in businesses. In return, he gets kickbacks of cash or stakes in the company. In many ways, this sounds like a mafia structure whereby soldiers, in this case billionaires, are in perpetual debt to a boss, in this case Vladimir Putin. They do the dirty work and he helps himself to a generous cut. Among the Putin cronies that have grown extremely wealthy are his former judo sparring partner, Arkady Rottenberg, with whom he reportedly still plays ice hockey with, receiving more than, wait for it, $7 billion in various state contracts in preparation for the Sochi Olympics. But then, there is another theory to consider concerning how much Putin really owns. What if the leader of Russia is just keeping up appearances? Could it all be one giant bluff? It is all the more confusing to pin down his net worth because Putin most likely obscures his net worth, using proxies in his inner circle. His dubious deeds have been so pervasive that the United Kingdom has created something of a kleptocracy unit. Their job is quite simple: hunt for Putin's hidden assets. The UK government has information that Putin has stashed millions of dollars in investments in the city of London. Their mission is to identify it and freeze it, but experts say it's not going to be easy. A little child would have better luck finding her mother in the Wembley Stadium. Amidst scandals of corruption and cronyism, follows a leader such as Putin as something interesting happened, or didn't happen in 2016. In April of that year, a Panamanian firm, Mossack Fonseca, released 11 million documents to the German newspaper, Süddeutsche Zeitung. Interestingly, the name Vladimir Putin does not appear once in any of the records. According to the Panama Papers leak, close trustees of Putin's own offshore companies are worth $2 billion in total. Süddeutsche Zeitung only gives an estimate when they report that there is a high probability that Putin's family profits from the offshore companies. Well, that's it guys. Thanks for watching. Do you think Putin's wealth is an illusion or not? Drop your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.